right, that's loading up. Looks like I am connected and running. What? Oh, that's not correct. That one's offline. Can we refresh? Share button. All right, let's bring up a panel to see what's going on with this. No, I don't need that one. I don't need that one. Or that one. That one can stay. Not needed. Not needed. All right, last one. There we go. Over to this and excellent. Connected and I can see what's going on. So now I'm working on the save and I have a few minutes to try to get this up and running. I have about 40 minutes to try to get this up and running before I got to take off. So let's see how fast I can get save and load to work. All right, to begin with, I'm going to need a system to be able to save and load. This should be happening automatically. The first thing I'm going to do is work on saving because I need to have a state to come to load from. Technically, I don't. I can just, this can be my default. All right, but let's create a system for this. So inside of here, I'm going to create a new system. Let's see. I'm going to create a new folder for the systems. No, if I move the class file, sometimes that changes the ID for it and the existing ones lose their setup. I had that happen to me recently and maybe there was something more to it and I can't remember, but now I'm more sensitive to moving stuff around. All right, so we're going to create a new script and we're just going to call this system. What is it? File system. Save and load. Save load system. All right, where's the code? Right there. Let's start working on it. Oh, no. Open writer. Where are you? Thank you. I hate when you create a class inside of Unity and then all of a sudden you try to double click it to get into the code so you can start editing, but then Unity's like, wait, I can't let you edit this file yet. I haven't recompiled it with the empty file yet. And then you have to wait for it to recompile the whole thing. All right, save load system. Now let's consider what this thing needs. To begin with, let's look over at the task. So save load profile stores a configuration file on mechanic and credit changes and when the cubes settle. So right now we have cubes, we have credit. We do not have anything to do with the mechanic yet. Okay, so we'll be storing credit and cube sets. Also car location. Oh yeah, stores the car location. Config file includes current parent position and rotation. Okay, yeah, same what the fields it needs. And then starting the game brings back the profile. Right now there will only be one, but I am planning on after I put the start screen in to create a profile selection where you can add multiple. So considering that, I don't want to just use an asset or something that I can save and or go to Unity preferences, player preferences to store this one. I want to use it a file to save this information. Where's my notepad? That's not it. All right. But yeah, so we'll be saving to a file. So let's copy all this stuff. I'm estimating about 4 hours when I initially wrote this. I'm going to try to get it done in the next 35 minutes. Okay. We're going to take this and control KC. There. Okay. Stores a configuration file. Inside of this one, that means we also need a scriptable object. Okay. So let's create the scriptable object. Do I have another scriptable object in here? Baked traffic is a scriptable object. Control CV. This second one will be called save game. Yeah, sure. So in this one, save game. Now I don't need all the information inside it. Let's just start getting rid of it. No, just get rid of this. All right. So now with the save game, we need to store information about where the nodes are. So inside of this, we're going to go to public list. I need to know, what do I need to know? I need to know the rotation and I need to know the configure position. Now, if I remember right, the node itself held information for this. So the freight, was that in this game? Now I'm questioning this. What do I have in the freight system? Do I have some kind of node structure in here? Because I know I was just working on something that had nodes recently, and I felt like it was this game. Because I don't think I've been doing much on other projects. Drop off point. Oh, the nodes. The nodes were part of the in-game state, the baked state, where it's, and also the designer state for the most part, where it's trying to pass information off. So that's in the traffic system. So the traffic system has the, not the traffic car. That holds onto the traffic. It's the data, like baked traffic. So baked traffic has a node structure. Node structure has this information, but I'm not using any of it. So in that case, I'll just create a structure inside of it to contain this information. All right, Vigilante 21, where did this go? Drop off system, save game. All right, so save game. First off, we need a name, public string name. Name is not going to be used yet, but I know it's going to be used in the next one because I'm going to be holding multiple of these. So even if it doesn't do anything yet, it's there. All right, so public string name. Now I need a class, the subtype that I'm going to hold the information in here for. Actually, no, I don't. I can just hold two arrays. Public list vector 3 cube positions. Public list vector 3 cube rotations. Something to keep in mind when you're working with rotations, you don't need, what was it? Euler. The typical vector 3 Euler format for rotations is perfectly fine to save data. You don't need to save it in quaternions. The math issues you run into for Euler rotations specifically apply to the math itself, the process of applying the math. It doesn't apply to the state of the data. You can convert between Euler and quaternion without any issue and get your data back and you'll be just fine. No worrying about gimbal lock or anything like that. So we'll just store it in vector 3s because from what I'm expecting, there may end up being a lot. That also makes me think that these objects would probably do really well as not EC. I was going to say ECS, but DoD, where I can do some sort of DoD structure for it. All right, so I've got this. Let's put in list. Now, what other data did it need? It needed to know how many credits we have. Let's put that up early at the beginning. The only reason why I like putting name at the beginning of some things is because when you have an array of stuff and the first field in it and the serialization of it is a string, when Unity's inspector shows that list, it will put the name first, the first string element, or if it has a string that's first, that gets listed as the name of it. So you don't have to expand it out to see what it is. So that's why I like to put name first. Otherwise, I wouldn't put that first. That'd be one of the last things. All right, so public string name, public int, and this one we need credits. And is there anything else? The car position, public int, public vector 3, car position, public vector 3, car rotation. Is there anything else I need to store? Well, whatever. If I find other things, then I'll get to that. So here's the save game object. All of these items need to be serializable by default. They are. Now I'm going to need to start saving them. So I need the file system. And I had that stored, a record of it over here. What was it? Directory exists, save directory. Um, Persistent data path. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so on this one, if we want to save it, we're going to file save. Do I want to do this as this one? No, save game is just the data. It just needs to hold the data. I've got the system over here, save load system. All right, so public void public list string uh, load. What is this one called? Load list. I guess it should be index. Do I want to save? I've got an issue with the naming. So if I put the naming in here as string, as I'm saving it by name, then I'm also going to limit the characters to what's safe to put on the file system. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I want them to be able to put whatever limitation they want. The save game, actually, how can I do that? How can I validate that it is a file safe name? C# validate that it is a file safe name. Path function. I'm assuming there's something inside the path function that already does this. Let's drag this over. Stack Overflow, determine via C# whether a string is a valid file path. Okay, so someone edit news API, later change API. This answer. Okay, you can use file info constructor. It will throw an argument if the file name is empty, contains only white spaces, or contains invalid characters. Another option is checking against path get invalid path characters. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I have not seen this one before. So that's what it's going to be. We're going to do a name, public string name bool is name valid. So I'm putting in, I guess, a lot more information than I need. String name. Okay, so this came from Stack Overflow. I love this, that they include the post of where that came from. However, none of bool, possible path, path string. This was C#, right? C#, yeah. All right. Path string. Okay, so the path string is going to be the name. And path is the namespace. Okay, so right there, index is if it finds an index of any of the invalid characters. Let's take a look at that. Is that just returning a value of, like, here's a string with a bunch of stuff? If I knew it was going to take that long to load, I wouldn't have done it. Okay, it just returns an array. It doesn't return, it doesn't already have it set. All right, whatever. All right, so inside of this, was there anything else? That's really all it does, return. Okay. So path name.index of any path.get invalid characters equals -1. Yeah, perfect. Okay, what's next? Inside of the task, we got it. We determine whether or not it has a valid name. Now I want to save public void. Where is that? No, it's just save. Public void save. And in this one, we have, what is the object? It is save game. All right, so inside of this, every single thing is serialized, and it's using Unity serialization. What was the command for that? That was JSON utility. That's already part of Unity, isn't it? JSON utility.save. dot to JSON, and that should just be game. All right, now file dot save string dot no string space. This is going to be JSON equals. So we convert that to JSON. We also need the path, which is going to be string path equals. And for now, we're just going to go with what was it? Application dot data path. Data path, was that it? We got a couple notes off to the side. Persistent data path. What's the difference between data path and persistent data path? This has IntelliSense, right? Contains a path to the persistent directory. Now, what about the other one? Well, whatever. That's not too big of a deal at this time. I'm going to hurry. I have 25 minutes left. Application persistent data path. And now this one is persistent data path, comma, what is it? Persistent data path plus, and then on this, do I need to, this is going to be a join, right? So on this one from JSON, set the JSON, yeah, combine, path combine. Okay, so we've got the application data path, and we're not adding it. I wanted to avoid slashes. Like I could write that all out myself, but it's easier just to do it this way. So the second half of what we're putting in is going to be the file name, which we'll just call this default. Default.sav. Okay, that works. That's creating the path. Now it is file.write all text, and that is the path is going to be path. It's the same thing. So path, comma, contents, JSON. Okay, save game is really easy. No, it's not. This the part that this is also what makes it complicated is I have to prepare the save game state from the current state of the game. I have to accumulate the save game state. Okay, so we've got the save inside of here. Let's also produce public void public save game, create save game state, create save game. All right, this one is responsible for going off to the other systems. Now the systems it needs to be in contact with include the freight. So in here we need the freight system. Did freight system have a singleton? Dot instance. Let's see. So freight system dot instance. Okay, so we can get to that directly. What else? We need the car. So the car, we need to know that one. We need to know where it is. So car, we need to know that one. So that's a public field. We don't have anything that returns the current player object. Nothing that puts something back or moves its state. The save game is the only thing that's going to manipulate the state of the car. All right. So it's reasonable for this one to hold a direct reference. Public, transform, public car, and this one's going to be player car. Might as well hold the extra information if I've got it. There's nothing in there for me to use yet. Mechanic state will be applied to this. So I'll hold on to that one for now. So I've got the freight system to get all of the freight. I've got the player, and then I need the name. Was that all that I had for save game? Save game, name, how many credits? We need the credit system, which is also static. And I wanted to put a locator service in too, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so inside of this one, it's in-game header dot credit manager. Okay, so now to create the save game state, we're going to go do, what is this one? Scriptable object dot create instance, and this one is going to be of type, what was that one? Save game. And var save equals var game equals. Okay, so now we've got the scriptable object. Now we need to start setting the individual fields in it. So let's go to this one, and what was that? Control Shift Enter. Control Enter? No. Of course, I can't find what I'm looking for when I get the, what was this? Control dot. No. All right, split this off. Just drag it. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so the name, game.name equals, and in this case, default. All right, game.credits equals in-game header dot credit manager dot credit. That's an integer, right? Public int read-only field. Yeah. Okay. Game dot, and what is this one? Car position equals, and this one is going to be this dot player car dot transform dot position. Game dot car rotation equals this dot player car dot transform dot rotation dot to Euler angles. Game dot what's next? Car cube positions. So in this case, I need to go through everything in the freight system. Freight system, if a cube gets stuck in the game, so if a cube gets dropped in the game, comes to a standstill and is now locked in position with its rigid body turned off, that one should turn on the that one should show up inside of the freight system. And basically at this point, I don't care about any that are like bouncing around or moving up to the point that I'm saving. I only care about the ones that are stuck. All right, so game dot, this is a for statement. If we're creating a save game, this is expected by the player to be a potentially slower point of operation. So, yeah, whatever. I just want something to work fast. It's really minor for what I'm doing here. For each var, what is this one? Freight, F-R-E-I-G-H-T, in, what is this one? Freight system dot instance dot find closest. No, I need all of them now. I have 12. Do I have something? Do I have the data exposed in this one? Sure, take me there. Okay, inside of this we have a public list positions. And I don't have a list of the freight. I need all of the freight. We're going to make this public for right now. Wait, what is that? Wait a second. What is this? Yeah, it's called freight. So on freight system.freight, it should be a list. So if I'm on the, oh, I'm in the interface. The instance is the interface. Okay, then that works fine. In this case, that we're going to keep that one private. I'm still going to have to load it. Well, whatever. We're going to put in something to be able to obtain all the data we need from this. So it's got to be on the interface. Yeah, I'll put in a new interface. Public interface load I save load I freight loader. All right. So if you're doing something like dependency injection or service locator, sometimes the same class might handle different purposes, and you want security restrictions on how they're being used. So in one case, you are acting as an administrator, manipulating a user's password. In another one, you don't want the password data to be available at all. Not saying that passwords being stored as strings in memory is a good idea, but just giving an example. Okay, so public interface, and the functions on this are going to be, what is this? Public, I need the freight. So public, I enumerable uh, freight get all. Put that one on here. What is this? Why do I have an extra bracket at the end there? Got the interface, class. Nothing is tabbed out here? Why? That was weird. Okay, time. 15 minutes left. All right, so in this one, I need to return a list of all the freight objects. So that one is going to be throw new system dot not implemented exception. Throw. I'm not throwing anything. This one is get also for each int. Now for each freight var f in freight yield return freight. That should be it. Okay, we need another function in here. Public void add freight. Add stuck freight. All right, so for now, add stuck freight is just going to be, what do we need? The position. So vector 3 position and vector 3 rotation. All right, in this case, we are going to construct a new freight, which a freight should be a prefab. Do I have a prefab interface on here? I do not. So in this case, I'm going to say public freight prefab. All right, so public, in this case, we're just going to instantiate, and in this case, we need the original, which is going to be the this dot prefab, comma. We're going to need the position, which is going to be position, and then we need the rotation, which is going to be quaternion dot from from Euler, quaternion. Does it allow new quaternion? And in this one, it wants the full setup. What was, how did I translate? Quaternion dot Euler. Okay. It's just Euler. It's not like from Euler or anything like that. I think they used to have it set up that way. So anyway, let's go with this. Euler, and that's going to be rotation. Okay, so that instantiates it. So now on this one, we have this, we're going to call it var freight equals, and this instantiates the new freight object, and that's going to be of the type freight. This back. All right, so freight, there's a few things that need to be changed about its position state. So in this one, how do we handle the update? The individual freight would handle the update. So when we are in the freight, on trigger enter, I don't want to set it to chaos. I want to set it to stuck. So we'll set the position and then we'll call the function set stuck, which will be public. All right, freight system. Freight.set stuck. Okay, we have set the position, we have set the rotation, we have set stuck. The data fields that are in there don't need to be stored in any other way. So this should be it, F12. Let me take a look at that function. Was there anything else? We have the state that changes. We set it to stuck. I need to make sure that the system is aware of it. So when we set chaos, we make sure that freight system knows about it. When we set to stuck, that always comes from a point of chaos before. So in this case, do we want any chaos fixed update? No, we don't want chaos. Chaos should be making sure it's part of the game. So when we say set chaos, it needs to set the freight system index. It needs to gather that information. In this case, it's brand new, setting it up. Is this all that it does? We set the stuck, we update its position so it knows where it is, and that's it. Okay, this is the one that needs to be responsible for how it interacts with the system. Maybe. I feel like the freight system actually needs to handle this responsibility and just have functions in there for it. All right, so for now, I'm not going to clean up set chaos and put that into there. Instead, I will add a function. I'll just put it in here. It's technical debt. I hate putting that in there, but I'm just trying to get the game out, and I got 10 minutes left for this feature. Okay, freight set stuck, which will probably only be save. Okay, so freight set stuck. Set stuck, and on this case, it also needs to be located inside of the freight system. So we're going to say, what is it? Freight equals freight.add and freight. All right. Freight needs an index. All right. Freight.index. Freight system index equals, and in this case, we're going to say freight dot count. And from here, it's -1. That gives us the last one that's in there. Oh, right before I add it. Let's just do it that way. Minor change. Right before I add it, I'm going to put that in there against the freight count. So it gets the proper index. I don't have to subtract anything. Okay, one less math function. Next. With this one adds the stuck freight. So back to what is doing this one. For each freight in freight system.instance, this is in the save game that we are saving it now. We're not currently loading it. Instance dot, hey, freight system.index dot get all. It's an interface, F12. Okay, this one is I freight system. I needed to put a different one on there. Wait, did that just add another function? Did I have a typo in there? There's my get all. which should also be this one. Good. So that one's inside of this one. I've got iFreight loader. I also need to say that we're going to change this name here. It's not going to be instance. This is going to be freight system and apply renaming. Just do it. Oh, it's got the same name. That's why it's unhappy. All right. Freight system dot freight system. No. Freight system dot system. Apply renaming. Okay, good. It caught what it was supposed to do. The other one I'm going to put in here, public static I freight save loader. Save loader. And this one is going to be save loader equals this. That one also has to be part of here, so we're going to put that one in there too. Control C and put that one up in the interface. Void. All right, those functions are now available. Delete. What else do I have on here? Okay, that's the freight system. It has the injection point. So in this one, we should now have .get all. It's not freight system .system. It's .save loader .get all. And now in this one, we're going to say we're just going to go in order. I need game.cube positions .add. In this case, I don't have the count. I could return the count. I can make this more efficient, whatever. It's not a big deal at this point. Okay, item. So we're going to say freight dot, and in this one we need the transform dot position. And yeah, that's it. The other one is cube rotations, CR cube rotation dot add, and in this one it's going to be dot CR cube rotations. That's a typo. All right, and in this one it is rotation dot Euler angles. Cool, excellent. So that should set it all. Now, why do I have this complaint in here? Return statement is missing. Oh, yeah, duh, we need to return the game. Return game. Okay, so that returns the game. Something has to call this. Now, what should call this? I guess I needed some kind of a close button or an exit button for the game to end. I wonder, does Unity have an event to capture for a close application request before it starts destroying all the objects? Okay, let's do a quick check for that. Inside of here, Unity C# event to determine if the application is closing before all the game objects get destroyed. Application quitting. Okay, so application quitting event is raised. I think I need to get a different search engine. Bing automatically runs a whole bunch of AI every time that you search, and I want that feature to be off by default. Sometimes a search term you can't get the terms to find what you need, and it's helpful to have a more advanced search, but I don't want that to be the default, that it runs a bunch of additional AI. The application quitting event is raised when a quitting process cannot be canceled. Okay. player is forced to quit or there's a crash. All right. Now we'll just throw this one in there. Runtime unload. We're going to put a method in here for this one. Initialize load method. It's basically this. And this one does need to be part of the save load system, so I'm going to put that one in there. Log quitting the player. In this case, we need to get the state. So var game equals create save game. These are static, so I don't have the instance of this system. The save load system should be generically available. The state needs to be available to this at least. Yeah, I'll throw an instance out there. Why? Whatever. Things to reconsider in its architecture. So public instance save load system. No, backwards. Save public static save load system instance. And now down here, void awake, throw, not throw. In this case, we're going to say instance equals this. Now down here, we say the game.create, and that is instance dot create save game. Now I need to say instance dot, and here is probably just save. Yeah. Instance dot save. What do I need to know? Oh, the game. Okay, that is my time limit. Now, in this case, anything should, I'm not using the is valid, but let's save this, go back into Unity. Unsupported changes. Recompile, please. Are you already doing it? Thank you. Will it save? Okay. Oh, what is this? Thread aborted. That's hot reload. I don't care. All right, now with this one, play. Did I ever set this up inside of, I never set this up inside of here. Close. Hurry up. Close. Stop. I already clicked the stop a while ago. Okay, this one is game object. That one is going to be save load. So the save load system, save load system. And inside of this one, it does need to know the player car, which is here. Got it. All right. Next. And no, just save twice. Argument out of range. I don't care. On exit. Play. Okay. I'm going over time right now. Let's see. Oh, I've got a couple trucks over this way. Gotcha. All right. Find one and... Ooh, I'll take you on. Oh, come on. No, no, no. Oh, I was right there. Stop. Did I... Whoa, what just happened there? That was a physics bump. Come on. I need to get one of you guys to let go. Come on. Ah, got him. All right, good. Now, enter. Okay, I got one of these. Got a cube right behind me. Let's get it over to this thing and enter. There. That went in. I've got credits. Now I'm going to stop. Stop. Does stop trigger the quit? Hey, I still have a whole bunch of things that went into here. Save load system, 59. Positions, transform freight. It's indicating that the freight is empty or cube positions. Cube positions was never set. It's a new instance of an object. It wasn't done through the inspector, where the inspector is apparently what sets those values. So on this actual object, we're going to say cube rotations. No, I don't care about that. Equals new and equals new. All right. I got to cut it for now. I'm not going to be able to test this. I will talk to everyone later.